Okay, so let us look at how we can implement the algorithm for finding the maximum of an array. Now, it's pretty similar to the one where we found the sum. The only difference is we need to create a variable to hold the maximum, and we're going to set it to the array 0. Okay? And then we're going to use a new loop to loop through the values, and if the current value is greater than the current max, then that current value becomes the new max. Let's have a look at the implementation of this. So I am going to remove most of this. Okay, I'm going to remove this. All right. Okay, so I am only going to keep these lines. I will set up a variable, an array, to hold the numbers, and then I'll ask the user to enter those numbers. Okay, so that's straightforward. The interesting part will be when I go through the array again and find the maximum value in that array. Okay, so to do that, I will create a variable, okay, which I'm going to call max, and as the algorithm states, I am going to set it to the first value in the array. Now, we don't care if that value is not the biggest or is the biggest. We don't care. We need to set maximum to that initial value. Okay, so if I had my array and my array had values 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55, okay, we will set maximum to be 11. Okay, all right. Now the algorithm says I need to loop over the array and I need to compare the numbers. Okay, compare the values. So I'm going to create my loop, and what I'm going to do is to check. Okay, and notice I will start my index from position 1. And why am I starting from position 1? Well, because we have already set the maximum to be item 0. Okay, item 0. So what I want to do now is to go to item 1, and I want to check to see if item 1 is the same or is larger than the 11, which is currently the maximum. Okay, so to do that, I will simply say if, okay, value I is greater than my current maximum, which is 11, then I will simply say that the current value, which in this case will be 22, will become the new maximum. Okay, and then I will repeat that same thing for each of the values that come after. So I will move on to 33. Okay, so let me say that again. I will check if 22 is bigger than 11. Yes, it is. So maximum becomes 22. And then I'll move to 33. And is 33 bigger than the maximum, which is 22? Yes, it is. So the maximum becomes 33, and I keep going and keep going. Okay, so when I print out the results, okay, I'm gonna come here, I will say cout the maximum value is, and I expect that I will get the biggest number that is entered. So let's give this a try. Let me put a cout here first. Okay, skip a line. All right, so I ask for the numbers, I calculate the maximum, and then I print that maximum. Let's see. Okay, so enter 5 numbers. Let's say I enter the 11, the 22, the 33, the 44, and the 55. So I expect that 55 will be the maximum, and it is. Okay, so again, all we're doing is asking for the numbers. Okay, and then we are looping through the array. But first, we need to set the maximum to be the first element in the array. And once we've done that, we will compare each item in turn to see if it's bigger than the maximum. At the end of the loop, we will have the maximum value. Okay, I'll leave it here, and let's in fact, before I do that, let's see what it would look like if we used Python tutor. I'm going to grab this, okay, and I'm going to use Python tutor. All right, to see what this would look like. Okay, so we have the code. The only change I will make, since Python tutor does not use cin, okay, I'm going to remove all of this, and I will put in the numbers myself. Okay, so I will assume that the numbers are already there. Okay, so let's just put in the numbers ourselves. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is to visualize, right? We have the numbers, and let's see what we get. Okay, so at the beginning, the array will be empty, but then it will have the 5 values. And then I come down here and notice I make value 0 be the maximum. So the first value is always set to the maximum. So maximum is 11. Okay, and then I will go to my loop. I will start off at 1. So it means that I will start off at the 22. And then I will simply check is, of course, I is less than 5. Remember our check. And so now I will come down to line 10. Is values I, which is values 1, which is 22, is 22 bigger than the current maximum, which is 11? That is true. And so if that is true, we will execute line 11. Okay, and so notice maximum will now be 22. Okay, and then we'll repeat that process for each remaining item in the array. Okay, so we'll keep going, and then it will become 33. All right, and then of course 44 is bigger than 33, so it will be replaced. And finally 55 is bigger than 44, and so that will be the maximum. And since we don't have any more items in the array, I would no longer be valid, right? So when we end up with I being 5, 5 is not less than 5, that's false. So we skip the loop, and then we jump to line 14. Okay, and then of course we print out the maximum out here. All right. Okay, so I hope that made sense. I'll see you in the next lesson where we look at finding the minimum of the array.